Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is our first Arizona chapter value moment, and we've got a wonderful presentation in store for you. Our presenter is Marc Pauwels. He is the value manager of Krell and Partner in Germany. Marc is also a CVS with Save International, a PVM, which is Professional for Value Management with the European Governing Board, and a TVM, which is a trainer for value management with the same EGB. So, Marc, without any further ado, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm turning it over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Caitlin, and hello to everybody again. So I'm very pleased to be here with you and to talk a little bit about VAV in Europe. So VAV is worldwide active, as everybody knows, and you're all very familiar with the SAFE concept, certification system, and so on. And in Europe, we are also using VAV since a long time, and there are slight differences, but it depends a bit the flight altitude, as I like to say. So if you are very in low distance above the ground, you see all the details and then you see the differences, but a little bit higher, it's really the same concept, and that's very important for me. Yeah, I have prepared a small presentation, and let's go through it. And we just said that probably the questions that are rising we can ask at the end. So in the remote situation, it's a little bit easier. Or if there's something very urgent, of course, you can also interrupt me. Yeah, please allow me some words, only one slide about Krell and Partner, my company. So it's also a relatively old company. It was established in 1969 by the founder, Mr. Krell. He's called the German father of VAVE. So he was working at Bosch at that time in 1965, something like that. And he introduced this strange new methodology from US in the factory, and he was successful. And so he said, oh, that's a good methodology. I like it. And so he resigned from Bosch and found Krell and Partner. And he was the first years together with Axel Peter Ried. I think a lot of people among you also know him. And he started the consultant business, and the first years was more trainings and so on, but then very fast we went over to support in projects and workshops and so on. So Mr. Krell is already long time retired and out of the company. Today there are three owners, presidents, so Philipp Plattert and then Sebastian Meindl. A lot of people also know him from the conferences, I guess. And myself, we are a small company, but in this niche value analysis, value engineering in Germany, we are one of the big players. We are around 15 colleagues, so with around 12 people consulting and having this background in engineering and expertise and so on. So we are internationally active, focus on medium-sized manufacturing companies. So we have also been in US very often, or Mexico, or Saudi Arabia, China, of course, and whole Europe clear. And our focus is really on product optimization and development. Of course, in most cases, we talk about cost reduction, but it's not only cost reduction, as everybody who is a value engineer knows. It's always the balance between the value and the cost in the end. Yeah, that's about Krell and myself. I'm a mechanical engineer. I studied mechanical engineering in the 90s, and there it was first time that I heard about VAV in the at the university, and was really amazed of this methodology, and so I get stuck to it. I stayed at university and I worked on my doctoral thesis. It also deals with VAV, as you can see, intercultural product development. And I joined Krell and Partner in 1999. Yeah, so it's also a long time, and I performed hundreds of studies, as I said, worldwide, and did a lot of trainings of people. And in the VDI, I'm working as a honorary on basis as a president of the German Value Management Society from 2001 to 2019. Since 2018, I'm now the president of the Parent Society. I will show you a little bit of the structure. So there are around 30,000 assigned members. And in SAFE, I'm Director of Global Affairs since this year. And I have all these certifications in Europe and in US. Yeah, so I'm very dedicated to the methodology, and I like to say that I have no other knowledge and expertise than that. But I think this is already a good basis. Yeah, some of our customers, dissatisfied. We do not like to show all these unsatisfied customers. It's only to show some of them, you know, of course, also in the US, John Deere as an example, or Steel, or probably Traeger Medical. They also have factories in the US. I have been there, and some of the others. So really a potpourri of the different products. As we are not specialized in a specific product area, we are working in all kinds of different industries. Yeah, the European world. Let's talk about that. Caitlin already mentioned the EGB, European Governing Board. The name changed to Value for Europe. Probably a better name. It's much more, nicer than EGB. It's a bit strange to explain what it is. The Value for Europe board is responsible for the development and application of the European training and certification system. So this is the board where we are really developing the methodology and the certification and so on. It's a non-profit organization under French law. And there are national certification organizations, so the different countries have their own certification organizations. And of course, they all work together. And the remedies, there's the list. So, and I think this is very similar to SAFE, promote world-class value management, and related standards, trainings, and certifications. And then all the sub-targets, establish, review, develop, and codified rules, operating standards of this European training and certification system, and approve the bodies from the NCOs and so on. So here's really the concentration where we are working. In Europe, there's also a European standard on value management. It's the EN 12973. It's a real standard with all the legal pros and cons of that. And this is very unique, I think, and very good. And there are also some other standards in work now, also on function analysis as an example. So a really high level standardization. Yeah, this is a picture of Europe, and you see the countries that are within the Value for Europe board, all the blue ones. Most of the countries are in, as you can see, only on the east side. in the Nordic countries, we do not have members, so the value management is not that widespread there. So it's Poland and Czech Republic and so on. And you can also see Hungary here in the east. As you probably know, Hungary has both systems, so they're also member of the SAFE International World. That's somehow, I don't know why this it was coming like that, but that's like a hybrid country concerning value management, so living in both worlds. And you see also in these boxes then the national associations, the names of that, and how we are working and so on. Yeah, Germany is right in the middle of the map, and probably I also show you something about Germany later. But first, the certification system. Probably there it is also of interest for you how it is working. And as I said, with the flight altitude, if you go close to it, you see the differences, and everything is different. But if you take the global concept, I think there are a lot of similarities and very, very easy. So we have 3 different modules. That's the first difference, and not only 2 modules, we have 3. So module 1, 2, 3. And each of the modules has 3 days. So in the end, we come to 9 days, and that's again very similar to the SAFE certification, as the trainings are a little bit longer there. So the module 1 is the basic module. Everybody can participate, so without any restrictions concerning basic knowledge, because the basic knowledge will be taught here. 3 days, as I said, and it's also including already a small value study. So if we are doing an in-house training in the company, we choose not only directly a sub-assembly, a product or a component of the company, and then it's like a small workshop within the training. And that's very beneficial, I think, because it's not only the training, but it's directly training on the job. And they have also benefit because we are really working on this component, sub-assembly or product. And if it's a public training, then we take anything, a product that everybody knows, if it is a bottle of water or a puncher. I like to have a puncher for paper, something like that. But it's really working from A to Z on a value study. So this is the module 1, and you get the confirmation from the National Certification Organization. For Germany, it's the VDI and all the others that you have seen on the map. To continue then with the module 2, you have to only participate in the second study. So this is the second blue bubble here. And the reason is that we want to go in the module 2 a little bit deeper into the subject and to build on the experience of the people, because the module 1 is a training situation. There's the trainer who is explaining how it works and probably is doing the fast diagram or the function tree and all that stuff. If you're only listening, it's very easy. Yeah, I understand. But then in the real situation, probably then the problems occur and yeah, they are grounded again. So and with this nice contradiction, the whole module 1, everything is perfect, and then the real life, you go to the module 2. So it's a totally different basis of discussion. And in the module 2, there's also again a case study, a small one, or a value study. But then the participants themselves are much more involved, and they should also facilitate some of the parts and so on. So this is really then enforcing the basic knowledge on the VAVE methodology. To the VM3, you can go then directly after the module 2, and there it is not anymore the topic how to do a function analysis or what is creativity, but then it's more about program planning, how to choose the right object for the project and how to introduce it into the companies and such stuff. So these are the modules. And then the certification levels themselves, there is the QVA. That's relatively new, and we in Germany, I think there's nobody yet who wanted to have it. In the end, it is, as you can see it here on the graph, it's the participating in the module 1 and having the second study, and then you can apply for the QVA, means Qualified Value Associate. So, but the real certification is the PVM, Professional Value Management. And this is similar to the CVS, and there's also this reciprocal agreement between SAFE and the Value for Europe that the PVM can apply for the CVS and vice versa. So therefore, you must prove that you have led, not only participated, but led VM or VAVE projects. Here there are 2 bubbles. In the past, it has been really 2 value studies, but now there's a certain number that you have to prove, and then there is a certification process to become a PVM. So, and also the same like in SAFE, there's a recertification for the PVMs. So really also to guarantee that the PVM is really, still on the action or knows what is going on and has the newest information and so on. So that's very close to the SAFE process here. Another difference again is the Train the Trainer seminar. So there's another branch here, and the Train the Trainer seminar is a 4-day seminar or training, and it's about didactics and how to teach VAVE, and you can be certified as a TVM trainer in value management. And to teach these modules, at least the official ones, so that you really can also give the official confirmation that the participant was in a real VM1 or 2 or 3, you must be a TVM. So of course, everybody can teach VAVE, this is clear. But to be in the real certification process, you must be a TVM to teach it. So so you must have the train the trainer seminar. You must give a curriculum, so a plan how to set up the trainings, and you must also have your set of slides and so on, and then you can apply for a TVM. So this is a little bit the setup of the certification system. So for me, the overall idea is the same like in SAFE. The details are a little bit different. I think it's interesting, and I know that you're already discussing it in SAFE, as the TVM thing, right? So this is something special and could be interesting here. Okay, now I'm coming to the German perspective. That's now a change in the slide setup, because I have taken the original ones from the VDI. So the VDI is standing for Verein Deutscher Ingenieure, means German Engineering Association. And we have 135,000 individual members and 12,000 experts that work on a honorary basis, and 145 full-time employees. So that's really a huge organization, and there are 12 technical societies and 55 technical divisions, and the VAV organization is one of these 55 technical divisions. So there, what are we doing there on this honorary basis? So prepare studies, organize technical congresses. We have also our VAVE conference every year, set standards. So guidelines, we have VDI guidelines. They're a little bit lower in the hierarchy than the European standards or the German standards, but it's high recommended, high reputation in Germany. Yeah, and then you see there are also local organizations and regional organizations, as well as some international organizational things here in the VDI. So this is, you don't have to read everything. These are these technical societies, the 12, and we are here in the product and process design society. So, and this is this one now. You see that's going down now in the hierarchy. So I'm the chair of that one with around 30,000 members. And within this society, we have then the technical divisions. And here's this one with value management, value analysis. Only it should be value analysis and value engineering. It's always a translation issue with the German and the English. And there we have 3,000 members. So that's also not bad, I think. So, and this is again this structure here and technical divisions. So the president is Jörg Marchthaler, and the vice president is Sebastian, so my colleague, and some of you know him. And here you see the different working groups and the different subjects. I did not translate it now, but there are some that are more stationary, like the Value Management Award jury or the conference committee, and others are only for a certain time if you work on a new technical guideline or something like that. Yeah, this is a little bit the structure where we are living in, and this is, I think, also unique a little bit that we are embedded in the VDI as the national VAV organization, and with all the pros and cons, I must say. So the pro is, of course, VDI is really a brand in Germany. So this is wow. Yeah. And we have these people that are working for the VDI. For example, if we are planning our conference, the honorary guys, we are saying, okay, what do we want to do? What are the subjects, or what could be a potential host, the location, and so on. But all the organization, everything is done by the VDI, by the professionals. They have also an own company, the VDI, that is responsible for trainings and conferences. So they have experts only for that. So that's easy then for us. So the normal organizational work is all done by these VDI guys. But it's difficult to have a specific way. So if we now would have a wish, we would like to have this and that, then it's always okay. But in the VDI, we don't have this topic. We cannot do it like this. So this is a little bit the pros and cons. But I think the pros are more than the downsides here. Good. And here's a small overview over the technical guidelines that we are having in our German technical division here. And the good thing is that all final versions are also in English. So they are available in English. They are bilingual, German and English. You see there's some basic guidelines about VAVE, and then teamwork, for example, or functional analysis, or also a little bit besides the performance pricing or creativity method, the trees. I think you also know that. So this is a nice, nice collection of very good objective documents on these subjects. And then probably, so coming to the end for Germany, since 1985, there have been 36,000 people trained. As I said, we started already in 65. Also, the VDI started in 65 with that. So, but we don't have the records about it. There are around 72 certified PVMs and 43 TVMs. We have, if it is not COVID, 60 to 80 seminars per year and 600 to 800 people that are trained per year. So with the different levels. So most, of course, are the VM1, and then VM2 and VM3 are not so many, of course. Good. I said we have also a nice conference every year if it is not COVID. And probably here the topic is that we are always looking for a host. So we are looking for a company that is the host of our conference, that has the advantage that it's a little bit cost saving for us because the host normally is giving the location, sometimes also the food or a little bit more. It's also attractive because we always plan a factory tour. So a lot of people are also coming because then they have the possibility to get an insight into the company. So that's a very good concept that we are doing since more than 20 years. So this year we have been at this company, EMG, probably you don't know that, it's in plant engineering. It's part of the SMS group. That's a huge plant engineering company. Also, 2 days conference. One day was a special day, as we call it. It's a training day. This year it was function analysis. I was the trainer, was also very well booked this special day. We have a value management award, so that's why we have a jury. So people can apply with their presentations. It's a little bit like also in the SAFE conferences. And then there's a jury, and the jury is selecting then the best paper. So next year we have again a nice conference already planned. Probably for you it's not so interesting, it's in German. We also had some international conferences in 2014 and 16, I guess. And that was then in English and German with simultaneous translation. Now COVID was again a little bit hindering us in doing so, but in the next years we will plan it again and you will get the notice of that, of course. Yeah, and then for the anti-COVID thing, we invented the value talks. So it's really well established. It's a webinar, probably like today a little bit. So every second month, it's 1 hour lively discussion, but it's only with an impulse lecture. So not like me now talking long time, but only probably 10, 15 minutes. And then really a discussion of all the members. And we have up to 250 people that are participating. So of course, not everybody can then talk and discuss, but yeah, it works very well. I must say it's normally only for VDI members. If somebody would be interested, if one day we would have an English one, of course it would be possible somehow. Only give me a call and then we can also organize that. Yeah, we have local events also and also some other webinars. Good, so that was a little bit about the structure, the formal setup of the value methodology in Europe and also in Germany. Now the typical approach, this is a little bit the mixture of the German approach and the approach of Krehl and partners, so our approach, but a lot of people are doing it like this, at least in general, and we are talking about industry projects now. So in the standard, we have, of course, a work plan, very detailed, lot of steps and so on. It's nice. It's good to have it. It's good for beginners. It's good to teach it in the trainings, but I don't like to talk about it in the projects because for me it's too bureaucratic. And people from the practical side, it's difficult and to follow that. But the general procedure, so the golden thread, this is something that I like to share always. So first step for us always is market, customer, and customer requirements. So if I do not know who is the customer and what are the requirements, how can I optimize the product? So this is a very simple sentence, but very, very right and necessary. So sometimes I'm in companies and they don't have the customer requirements and they are working on the product. And that's how can you do that if you don't know what you want to have? So this is very the first step always. So second is then the analysis of the product itself. So looking at it, what are the costs, what are the pros, what are the cons, and of course, functional analysis. So this is the analysis phase, these two steps. Yeah, and then the concept phase starts. And this is idea finding first. And of course, target is to find as much ideas as possible. So without evaluation, we all know how difficult it is, but we always try the best to do it like this. And as we do not evaluation at that stage, we have to do it afterwards. So the next step is then evaluation. And this in a cascading manner. So starting with a rough evaluation and ending with a detailed evaluation, and also put together the things in concepts. And then very important, the last step, implementation. Because if you don't implement it, was for nothing what you have done before. So, and this sometimes you see in big companies, they do one workshop after the other, and I always ask myself, okay, what about implementation? Are they only showing the results to the management, or are they also implementing something? And this is still an open thing. I think a lot of companies can also improve the situation. So, because if we work out for a big machine, 300 ideas, and in the concept there are in the end probably 100, and they only implement 2 of them, and there was a lot of waste of time and waste of possibility to change something, of course. Okay, good. So I don't have to talk about VAV. I think only I show some of my slides that I like to show show the people why we have to do VAVE. So this picture I like to show that there are different perspectives, and people, if they really defend their perspective and their opinion, that's because of this picture, because Mr. or B or Mrs. C, they see exactly what they see and do not see the other sides of this strange object. And we have to work in interdisciplinary or cross-functional teamwork to exactly change these perspectives and see also the other side of the object. So that this is very important, and it's all about it. Today I had a workshop. I'm in Switzerland at the moment, and there was a design engineer, and after 2 hours he said, yeah, I don't know, what are we doing here? Are you really asking why I did my design like I did it? I said, yeah. And but not only to ask why you did it like you did it, because you did it the best you could do from your perspective. But if you do not know if the customer needs this feature or this whatever capability of the product, you cannot change it. But now we have the product manager here, we have the production guy here, we have all the other colleagues, and suddenly probably you get the totally different impulse or different perspective, and then on your own you will change the design, and that's why we are here. So, and he was working the whole day very, very well. So that's why we have to do cross-functional teamwork. I show it also with this picture. So some of the departments in the company are R&D, production, sales, purchasing. There are others, and everybody has his tinted classes. Yeah, R&D is looking through the R&D classes, production through production classes, and so on. And everybody is following the own targets, objectives. So R&D wants to have a state-of-the-art product, very good, and high quality. Production wants to have high lot sizes and good, nice machines for the company factory tours, and purchasing wants to have low prices, sales wants to have high prices. So that's okay, fine. The only problem is if these targets are not combined and not following the real target or the real goal, and the one of the project or the one of the company. So if the targets are only to optimize the departments themselves. And that's why we need the cross-functional teamwork. And this is like a mirror, and the mirror is reflecting or focusing the different perspectives on the one real goal. And this mirror is the teamwork, the cross-functional teamwork. And we as facilitators, we have to take the mirror and to adjust it to the different people and different team members, and to try to focus always on this goal here. Price performance portfolio, this is something from the analysis phase, what we like to do. So we try to evaluate the different products, so the own product here and the different competitors, and the performance we take from the different buying decision criteria that we have to define or to get for this product in general. Then we evaluate how good the different products are fulfilling these criteria. This gives us this performance value. And then we have the market price, not the cost, the market price. This is a pure customer perspective. And normally the more you get, the more you have to pay for. So normally it's a line like this, from the lower left to the upper right area. It's a little bit like in this picture. So it's a good position also for our product. Okay, it's the worst one in this comparison, but also the cheapest. So the position itself could be okay. The problem here was only that this is a high reputation or a good brand product, and this is the wrong position. But this was only found out with this work in the team. So we had to change the target of the project. The target was to cut the cost, but in the end, cutting cost makes no sense here. It was really then the target, the new one, to push it up somewhere here. So very interesting point, and this is really also loved by almost all the teams that I have. The information normally is there in marketing or in sales or in product management, but not so visible, and it's not the own picture. It's for a design engineer. Yeah, okay, product management means that it's a bad product. But this one here was now built up in the project with all the people involved. So that makes the difference. Okay, function analysis, you know that. So this is the picture I use here a little bit, that we are living in a solution world. I have this bottle of water, I have this key of the hotel room. These are all solutions, my notebook. And it's difficult to change, because if you are the owner, the inventor of the product, you are defending it like your baby, like your child. Yeah? And if you ask, can you make it smaller? No. Bigger? No. Can you change? No. This is a little bit the point if we are living in solutions. That's why we have invented the function analysis that is much more objective, and we go through the different questions. What is, so the as is study and the should be status. We always do both. So in our project, we always have two function analysis. So we are working more with the tree than with the fast diagram. But we have always two, so the as is and the should be. And from this analysis, you go then to creativity, back to the solution world, and then you have to do the evaluation. And you all know that. And we are setting up also the function cost also for as is and should be, so that we have then also the comparison. Yeah, then we have a kind of idea list. I did not translate it. So an idea list where we put all the ideas, and then you can see here the different cascading evaluations with the rough evaluation and the ideas that survive, that will also be evaluated, what could, or estimated what could be a potential saving, what could be a necessary invest. And then of course you have a lot of tasks for different people and the system here to follow up the task. And in the end, then you can put together your different concepts. So it can happen sometimes that if you sum up all the potentials here, that you save more money than you have cost of the product. It's always interesting, but it's clear if you have a real idea finding and a lot of different ideas, you can have a lot of redundant ideas. In the case of, there could be an idea to say, I have a table with 4 legs today. So you could say, I make the legs shorter. You can say, I have only 3 legs. I have only 2 legs. I have only 1 leg. I fix it at the wall, like my table here in front of me. These are all ideas. You can all evaluate them. You can all give potential savings to each idea, but you cannot sum it up. So either it's a table without the legs, or you have the 4 legs, or you do the 3, or wooden legs, or metallic legs. So, and that's why you must choose then the ideas and bundle them into these scenarios. And these scenarios could be, as an example, this is not set in stone. Let's put all the ideas together that lead to a maximum decrease of cost, or all that lead to a medium decrease, or a quick win scenario, or something like that. So this is always depending on the on the team and the situation. And that's normally for us. So the end, we go to the management with such a scenario, telling them, okay, if you do this and that, look, these are the single ideas, and but you can gain whatever 20% if you do that, and you can get it in 1 year, and the effort is $100,000. Or you go this one, this is only 20,000, but you have it tomorrow, and you only have to invest $10,000, and then the implementation has to be started. And in most of the cases, the companies are doing it on their own. So we also offer it to support this phase, but in most cases, they're then doing it on their own. Good. And then one example, very fast, you see something again, of course. So this is the grip example. I showed it, I think, also on one of the conferences. So this is a bus holder. It's a plastic part. It's a injection molded part falling from the machine like that. So without any further work on it. And you can see it's a product to bundle and collect cables and tubes. So you have to fix it against the wall. And you can open and close this grip, this bus holder here. You can see it in the open and in the closed situation. So you can put a cable inside. And the advantage is, if you, after a year, or if different installation companies are coming with different cables, you can easily open and close it again. So this is the application for it. And there are different sizes. This is more a big one here, with so many cables that can fit, and so on. And the problem was that the production costs have been too high, so there was the need to reduce it. It's a 2-digit number that was the target, and they also wanted to have a better performance concerning the customer requirements, so that they can increase the sales, and they wanted to have the new concept ready in 6 months. So this is a typical task for me in industry projects, something like that. Yeah. So, and we set up an interdisciplinary team with R&D, production, purchasing, product management, technical controlling for the cost side, sales, and tool making. Tool making because this company has also their own tool making. So that's why this guy was also present. The typical project structure is like this. So the sponsor, it's only the management or the owner of the company. He is a little bit aside, and he gets always the necessary information. And then we have the project team. We talk about the core team and the enlarged team. So the core team should not be bigger than, in the best case, 6-7 people. Sometimes it's up to 10. But if there is the need for a specific guy, a specialist for whatever, then we can invite him or her for a team meeting, or for part of the team meeting. So we have different team meetings. We are doing a lot of projects and not workshops. So for me, a workshop is something I'm doing right now here in Switzerland. I'm here for 2 days, and that's it. So in the 2 days, I have to do everything. In the project setup, we have team meetings. Okay, 3 is for a project, a little bit less, but probably also 4 or 5 only. But there is a time distance in the time in between the team meetings, probably 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And the advantage is that in between the team meetings, the people can work on the task. So for a workshop, you must be ready. You must have available all information day one. There's no chance to get further information, because the next day you continue the work. Here, it doesn't matter. So if in the first meeting there's missing something, and information on a competitor product, it doesn't matter. You give the task to the sales guy. Okay, please look up the data, or bring the product with you next time, and then we continue there. So in the meantime, we do something else. So that's the advantage of this one. So this is a typical setup. I'm just doing a project there where we have planned 30 meetings. So it's a small plant, 30 meetings, so that's a lot. So it's a time frame of 1 year, something like that. So, and here you see a little bit the golden thread of the work plan on the side. Okay, good. So this is exactly this price performance portfolio, or here it is called customer benefit. Yeah, you see exactly what I told you. You see here some of the buying decision criteria for a customer for such a product. So as an example, easy installation of the cables, image means reputation, it's bad English here, easy handling, robustness, and so on, and there's an importance. Yeah, and on this basis, you evaluated the different products, and this gives you this customer benefit here. So the grip is on a very good position. Yeah, very, very good. But the price, is more or less the same like these very bad competitors, right? So that's interesting. So the size of the bubbles reflects the market share, by the way. Yeah, so this is a tree. So probably there are some English mistakes here. But as I said, we are using more the tree than the fast diagram. This is the as is. I think, it should be okay. So there are not so many functions, but as it is a one piece coming out of the machine, there are already some of them, right? So allow fixation. This is really the fixation at the wall or the ceiling, as you can see in the other functions. Then the installation is to putting the cables in. The protection is protect the user, the cables, the product itself, and also prevent manipulation. And give information, the show brand and such stuff. And it was then also the basis for the function cost analysis. And the as is, I can't see it now, as is, here, as is the light blue, sorry. And you can see that a lot of money is invested for allow installation, means that you put the cables inside. For the fixation, there's not a lot of money. But from customer perspective, the dark blue, the distribution is different. Suddenly the customer asked for allow fixation. And then there was a huge discussion in the team and we said, why? But then it was clear. I jump back to this picture here. So we are not talking, or this product is not used by a private person putting 2 or 3 against the wall. But for example, if there's a new airport or something like that, then you have kilometers or miles and a lot of these products, and it's a lot of work to install it. So first you have to drill the hole, then you have to take the screw and the anchor, then you have to put it somehow there, and then you must open this wide so that with your tool you can enter here, and then you have to drill it. So it's not that easy. It's a lot of effort. And normally you can shoot them with a what is it called again, a pressure gun or something like that, also in concrete walls, but not this product, because if you would shoot it, this wall here, the plastic would be destroyed, and anyway you cannot enter it because the opening here is too small. So that was really the turning point in the project. This finding and this customer orientation. This is also now here on this slide. And from there on, it was really a focus on thinking how to change it. So there was the concept phase with all these ideas here. And in the end, we came out with this new product. So first glance, it's the same. In detail, there are a lot of changes. It's again with the FEM analysis. So again, taking out material in grams and milligrams. Was also a new material with less cycle time, so production cost there less, automatic packaging, and a new tool also. But the main thing is this one here. This is how to call it, a supplement. It's also directly molded with the overall product, and it has a how to say that, the pre-cut area, so it's easy to take it off. So the idea is, if you want to use the pressure gun, you shoot this part to the wall or the ceiling, whatever, and then you can take it off, the main part, and clips it on. So with the hole here and this part here, you can clips it in. So very easy. So and that was really a very, very good idea and very successful in the market. And as I have written here, the goal of the cost reduction was not reached. because it was overfulfilled. So the cost reduction, even with this supplement here, was almost doubled than the target. So that's why I like this example, why it's such a successful project. Yeah, and feedback from the team, that's probably also interesting. The team members themselves, they said, well, what are the three keys to the success of the project? So the constant application of methods, so within the VM methodology, then also the neutral moderation, in that case also external, but neutral is very important. So as a know-how catalyst or booster coach, then also new internal communication. It's always interesting because a lot of companies say we have good communication, we have teamwork. Yeah, I think so, but it's a different style of communication in our VAVE projects. And then the last one, also creation of open space. So in a more ideational way. So having the space also for giving some freaky ideas and so on. And the formal way, that's now specific of this company, that's private owned. So, and if the owner thinks this is a good idea, he doesn't care about business cases, he says we do it. So that's of course an advantage in that case. And it was like that. So if normally the payback time should be not longer than 2 years and it is 2.5, he says, I don't care. Yeah, it's good, we do it. Yeah, that's it, I think. Yeah, that was the last slide because we wanted to have around 15 minutes for discussions. And I hope that I at least fulfilled this target. And now I'm open for some questions.
Thank you, Mark, so much. That was a great presentation. It looks like Hussein has his hand up. Go for it.
Yes, I have just one question and one comment. First of all, for the comment, I'm going to steal your integral approach because it's a very nice picture. So if you see it somewhere, thank you very much. Now, my question regarding the German Engineering Society (VDI), since the Value Engineering Society as part of the hierarchy, do you have to be an engineer to get the training for value engineering?
No.
And can you? No. Okay. That's a very interesting.
No, you don't have to be engineer. It would also be a little bit ridiculous because what are we claiming as value managers? We are claiming that we need a cross-functional team. So, and the purchasing guy, for example, is not don't have to be an engineer, could be in a commercial background, right? Or something like that.
Just want to give you
a sales guy.
Little bit information about in Canada, even we can't call it value engineering because the phrase engineer is protected by Engineers Canada. So we can only call it value analysis or value management.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, but what you guys have is really amazing, and I really like to probably take that to the APEGA here and discuss that. But thank you. That's my question.
Thank you. A small comment on the language. In Germany, the methodology is called Wertanalyse, and this is the direct translation of value analysis. Yeah, but it is meant to be both. So working on existing products and new products. So it's both VA and VE. So that's why sometimes it's difficult to translate. Yeah. So if you translate without taking care, you say value analysis. But you mean both, so it's a little bit strange, yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, thanks for your question and comment.
So we had David Drummond. He can't get his microphone to work, so he emailed me a few questions. So I'm going to drop them all in the chat box, but I'll read them out to you. The first one is, how do you go about registering for the VM Module 1 training?
How do you register?
Yes, for the VDI or the Value for Europe VM1.
Yeah, but now I don't understand. Do you mean as a participant? How do you register, or as a trainer?
As a participant.
Yeah, you only register.
Sorry, you go to the website?
Okay, good. So every trainer, every TVM can offer the trainings. So me as a part of Kreland Partners, or we as a company, Kreland, we are offering trainings. Our competitors in the field, they are offering trainings. The VDI itself is also offering trainings. So it depends. So if somebody would be interested, then in our training, he only writes an email or apply or says, I want to take part, and that's it.
Okay, cool.
So
I just
that's,
have to reach out to
if I understood the
directly.
question right, yeah.
Perfect.
Mhm.
The next one is there a VDI nuclear power division?
I don't think that there's a nuclear power division. These are civil engineering, building, energy and environment. It was not translated here. Probably there are some experts on that in the energy and environment. But the pure direct nuclear power, I don't think that there's a specific one. But I could try to get the information.
Okay, cool.
As you know, we want to stop all the nuclear power plants in Germany.
Yeah.
We are just discussing it to stop it a little bit in the future, only because of the energy prices. Yeah, but huge discussion. Yeah.
All right. The next question is: do you use value-based selection for projects for implementation?
Value-based selling.
Value-based selection of projects for implementation.
This only, honestly, I must admit that I don't know what it is with these words. Value-based selection.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure David will. David, if you want to ask that question to Mark directly, I can get you his email address. So the next one is the grip and alternative for cable trays.
What is the alternative?
The one that you guys VA'd, is that an alternative for cable trays?
Okay. Yeah, could be. It always depends the installation. So the cable tray is a long part, right, where the cable is supported in every millimeter or inch. And here you can see that it is in a certain distance. So it depends on what you have inside. It could happen here that the cables are a little bit doing like this. And if you don't want to have it, or if you really want to have protected it all over, then it's not alternative. But it really depends the situation where you do it. But from the function, it's more or less the same, yeah.
And then the last question from David is: how much is TRIZ, T-R-I-Z, used in the development of projects?
I don't use it very often. For me, it's more not a scientific method, but you use really a lot of time. You need to use a lot of time. There are some shortcuts, of course, where you can use some of the principles of TRIZ and not the full methodology, and that you can use. Yeah, but I think it's not so spread. Some companies are using it.
Awesome. And does anybody else have any questions? I've got a few more that I would like to ask, but I just want to turn it over to anybody else real quick. All right, hearing none. So my question for you is like VAVE on a broader kind of scope. Is VA and VE embedded into the engineering culture in Europe or Germany? Like, is it just kind of part of how you guys do things, or is it something that you're trying to insert into the culture?
I think there's still a way to insert it into the culture. So, as I said, I learned it in my studies. So some universities have it in their plans, in their curriculum. But it's not the standard in all the education for engineers. So this is still a way to go.
And then my next question is kind of what entity pushes the involvement of VAVE? Is it more government-led or more like private company-led? Which one's kind of setting the tone?
In Germany, it's clear it's industry, so private. So public area is very low. This is always where I'm jealous to US. because we have so many public projects. So it's coming a little bit more and more now. I'm doing projects also with the city at the moment with the city. So that's very interesting also. And another city is very interesting and also starting. And it was in the water company, no, water factory, water, what is it called? Water utility factory, something like that. Water utility, or yeah, something like that. So it's coming now, and I'm fighting for that, and I'm trying to get into it. But it's clear, much more private owned. It's companies, industry.
Thank
But
you
it
so
would
much.
be huge possibility in the public area, of course.
We both have our Goliaths to
Yeah.
slay. So, well, thank you so much. Are there any other questions before we wrap this up? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Marc, again so much for staying up late and giving this presentation. I know we all learned a ton. So thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Everybody who attended, I will be sending out an email just as a thank you, and then also any contact information of Marc's if he's willing to share that, and then
Yes, of course.
Great, and then potentially a PDU certificate. So any questions, let me know. But thank you guys again so much for attending. This was wonderful. Thank you.